I bid you welcome. I am a little goblin who likes to do makeup, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about the brands I use, why I choose them, the products that I use from them, and maybe a few tips or tricks that I've learned on how to work with them a little bit better. So let's get into it. This is going to be a two-part video, as there are quite a few companies that I want to talk about, and I didn't want to just cram it all into one video, so just keep an eye out for that one in the future. When I was a kid, I didn't really have like any specific kind of makeup, as we didn't really have like the money for me to consistently buy certain brands or certain things. If I liked it, it didn't really matter. You're just getting whatever's cheapest, that's fine. Or I would grab whatever bright colors of my aunt's like Avon stuff, or when they'd give me like their old lipsticks and they'd be like 3/4 used, like, who wants this? Why would you do this to me? I mean, I'm still gonna use it, but you know? Gross stuff that we do as kids when we're still trying to figure out makeup. And I say that like I wouldn't still use one of my aunt's lipsticks if she had a cool shade or something like that, except for I probably wipe it off now. We'll move on to one of the first brands that I bought myself of what I call expensive makeup, and that is going to be BH Cosmetics. I loved the look of their palettes. They have tons of colors to work with, and if I'm honest, whenever I'm looking for companies that I want to buy from, I try to choose places that have tons of like different eyeshadows or palettes, loose pigments, stuff like that, because eyeshadows are like the main thing that I work with. I like using them for all kinds of stuff, whether it be on my face, like on the side, little bits of body down here, or where it should be used, on my eyelid. But BH is one of my favorite companies because they blend cohesively with other companies, which is what I call playing well with others. And it does. They play well with every other company that I've paired them with. I even have some of their brushes that are really nice. They were like 13 bucks. That's another thing that I like about them, is they have price ranges that are like nothing's going to be $80-$90, so it's like very low to mid price range. But I don't really have a problem with their quality, and maybe that's just because I grew up like scrounging my cousins and aunts' makeup on my face. Another thing that I enjoy about them is that they work well with a wet or a dry base, and I think that that's really important for a lot of companies, because the majority of people that are doing makeup on the day-to-day, they don't either know how to do like a full beat on their face, or they don't have time and they're not going to sit down and be like, oh my god, I have to prime this or it's going to look bad. They're just going to plop it on in the morning maybe, or at night before they go to work, and there they go, and they need something that's going to be reliable. So for something to work on just a regular old like dry base eyelid, that's important to me. I really like that this company, it's not patchy, it doesn't really fall off, all of their pigments are very smooth, and I love the glitters. I'm gonna, like, my palettes are a little bit dirty, so try not to judge me too much, but these are just a few of the ones that I have from them. They've got tons of colors. The Zodiac palettes are definitely my favorite. I think I paid like 40 bucks for the both of them, but there is a ton of colors, as you can see, on both of them. My other one's a little bit dirtier, so we'll stick with the newer one that I have. But it comes with both matte and shimmer shades, and matte and shimmer shades, and I really like that you can mix between the two. There's a nice variety. It's not like 12 shimmers and one matte, or like 13 browns and one yellow or something like that. That really annoys me when they do that. I have enough browns. The next company is another one that I found early on in my adult makeup journey, and that is Sugarpill, or Sugarpill Company. I loved the look of their palettes, the packaging for everything. It was super cool. And of course I went to them for eyeshadow initially, because they had a true red eyeshadow, and I was looking for that forever. No violet undertones, no orangey, no nothing, just red eyeshadow. Oh, it was perfect. And their pan size, I'll put up a little thingy over here. It's massive. Insert jokes there. But the pan size is very large, and the product is great. It's got a very powdery, like smooth feel to it. I always say powdery, and like I don't want you to think that that's a bad thing, because I do like it to be a little bit more powdery, especially with eyeshadows, because the harder it is, then I'm gonna have to like press into it, and I find that those eyeshadows are a little bit more patchy. I almost said powdery, but they're a little bit more patchy than I would like. And this is another brand that plays well with others. I use them constantly and consistently with different brands and amongst themselves, and they blend out just fine. No patchy, very little fallout. I have both of their little mini palettes here, and I have the capsules as well. I love the variety of colors that you get from them, as well as the variety of shimmers. The only little like downside I will say, and I'm not knocking them or anything, I do love the company, as you can see, is that some of these shimmers are a little bit harder than I would like, and when I rub my finger over them to try and get them on my eyelid, I prefer them to have like a buttery feel. These are sometimes a little bit harder, and you have to like really press into them, and it doesn't transfer as well. You can use a brush for those instead. I use my fingers for just about everything. This company also works well with a wet or a dry base. I've noticed that the colors do seem to pop a little bit more if you do use a primer before you put the eyeshadow on. Although, like, I'm not saying it will bother the red or the orange if you don't. It's just like it'll be a little bit brighter. You'll notice a difference if you do lay down a primer beforehand. I also have their liquid lipsticks. That is my preferred like lipstick. I like the liquids instead of like the actual stick. And their formula isn't like sticky or anything like that. It dries on very smooth. They're black. I believe it's like Sub-Zero. I'll put it over here. Is one of my favorites when I can get it. It does sell out pretty quickly, but it stays on. You can tap your fingers on it. You can eat food. You can give little kisses and everything like that. It has false lashes, and I use them all the time. I love them. They have giant ones. They've got little ones. They've got like delicate lashes with brown hairs mixed into them. They've got like the little under lashes. Everything, and they're super cheap too. Like, their price points are very good. I can't complain about it. I think I paid like maybe $10 for this, probably a little bit less than that. And they are a company that is cruelty free, and I believe they have some vegan products. Not all of them are, so make sure you pay attention to that, but they are cruelty free if that's important to you. It is important to me. I believe BH Cosmetics also has cruelty-free options and some vegan as well. Moving on to an indie brand that I love just the same. It is Apocalyptic Beauty Cosmetics, and I 100% love them. They have these cute little goth Easter baskets and like trick-or-treat baskets for Halloween, and they're jam-packed full of products, and I can't get enough of them. They fit my style, like everything from the color. I know you can't see it. I'm gonna hold up a thing. I do this every time. I'm like, look at it, and you can't even see it because I'm either quick or it's too small, but regardless. From the cute little names and everything to just how everything is packaged up. Everything's got little skulls and flowers on it. I can't get enough of it. I've got their highlighters, blushes, pigments, all kinds of stuff, and they are both cruelty-free and vegan for anybody that's important to. I am going to mention that it's not something that like I push. It's just something that I feel is important for people to know if they're trying to pick makeup. Maybe they've got a skin condition, certain things bug them, maybe certain things don't. Because it is a powder, it works a lot better with a wet base, but I don't get patchy or like weird little marks on it if I use a dry base either, which I do quite often because I'm lazy. In the baskets, you will also get a bunch of different lipsticks and lip glosses. Most of them are going to be limited edition, so if you find something that you like, you need to make sure that you get it before it's gone, because I love this Heart of Glam one that I got from them a few years back, and I won't use it all that much because it's just my favorite. It is this like iridescent blue-green lip gloss that isn't super sticky. It smells fantastic, and it lasts super long. I use it on my eyelids too. It doesn't say whether or not these are safe to go up there, but I don't have any problems with it. So The liquid lipsticks dry pretty quickly and they don't like smudge very easily, but after a little bit of drinking, I did notice a little bit of movement on there. Not that that's a super big deal for me, but I do like the formula. It's very creamy and very pigmented. I like how it feels putting it on, and everything has a very pleasant smell. That's another thing that's big for me. If it smells icky, I probably don't want to put it on my face. I know that sounds so dumb, but it is what it is. It's my face. The next brand that I'm going to talk about is one that like I was super in love with for quite a few years there, and I believe I had just discovered Sephora. I had like a little app on my phone or whatever, and KVD had just dropped their Saint and Sinner lipstick bundle with their fragrance when it just came out, and I had never had a liquid lipstick before, and oh my god, I was hooked. It didn't budge, nothing moved, it smelled great. They had thousands of colors for me to choose from, and it was just like, I had found like my makeup or something like that. They were one of the first companies that like I would consider an expensive brand that I bought for myself, because like $65 for a makeup palette, like, oh, I'm crying over here, I'm cheap. Their liquid lipsticks were one of the first things that I ever used on my eyebrows and still use on my eyebrows, because when I worked in a kitchen many moons ago, it was one of the only things that I could put up there on my eyebrows, and it would stay put in the kitchen when we had no air conditioning, lines full, and 2 people called off. But that's a rant for another day. From there, it just spewed into me checking out their eyeshadow palettes and falling in love with the design of everything from, look at those colors and everything. Like, I just needed to have them. And their stuff definitely plays well with other brands. I have yet to have any trouble with them, despite how old my little palettes might be a little divine there. Ooh, I remember when I first got this one. I loved it. I still do. I will say, though, that they did go through a management change quite a few years ago, and I still buy their liquid lipsticks, but I have yet to try any of their eyeshadow palettes since then, so I cannot say how the quality is on those or anything. Just for the old ones, if you have any of them or get your hands on them, I really like them. They're pretty and they work well on my face. This company is one that is both cruelty-free and vegan, so keep an eye out if that's something that's important to you. As weird as it is to say, I love a good glitter. It is something that can take a kind of cool idea into a fantastic concept and just complete the look to a T. It's that little accent that it needed sometimes. But what I don't like is the thought of little glittery particles floating around in my water forever. I don't want to drink that. And that's why I go with Slayfire glitter. They have biodegradable options for glitter, and that makes me feel a lot better about putting it on my face, knowing that it's not just going to go into the water system. I do my best to like wipe it off with a little wipey first and throw it in the trash, but regardless of that, it's still going somewhere. At least this way it dissolves a little bit, because it's made out of like an algae or some sort of, I'll put it up over here, some sort of kelp or something like that. But to me, that's really cool, and I enjoy that from them. I don't mind paying a little bit extra, knowing that like not only is it cruelty free, but like I am also being a little bit cruelty free here. So they've got a super smooth formula. I love the fact that the glitter just glides on. If it starts to dry out, they sell a little thingy that you can use, or I've been told in messages from them that you can use an aloe gel and it'll rehydrate it just fine. But they've got tons of colors, and now they've even got like eyeliners, and I think they're like aqua activated little eyeshadows and stuff. That's super cool, but I go to them for their glitters. I haven't tried any of those things. I've got like one in every color. The last one for this video is going to be one that's a little bit newer in my collection, and that is Makeup a Murder. I pretty much fell in love with the entire brand. Their little lip stains and the little caskets inspired an entire video series from me. It's a little makeup, little cosmetic noir, as I call it. Little shameless plug, you should go watch them. I've got 2 more coming. The human that runs this company, or is the CEO, whatever have you, is probably one of the most creative people that I've ever seen. Their looks on the day-to-day basis just blow my mind. And you can tell when somebody cares about what they're doing because their whole heart and soul is into Makeup a Murder. From the packaging to the marketing to everything, it's very much on brand. Like, I was gifted one of their mystery boxes, and I got a little bit of everything. I got these cute little things. They're marked evidence. They're little vials of like poison, but they're powdery eyeshadows and pigments. That is super cool and not an idea that you'll see in a lot of places anymore. They mainly did that all like in the 2015, 2016. Everybody's kind of like meh about makeup, but I love that they're sticking to their guns. They do all of these crazy colors, fun concepts, and they're still going, and obviously they're still making money because I'm buying. Having a wet or a dry base to start out with is not going to bother the product at all either. I have yet to have a problem with it. They don't get patchy if I've got a dry lid, or if I put down primer, things don't get all smudge or push around. It blends seamlessly. It's got a very smooth formula, whether it is in the like actual palette form, which I really like this one. I love grayscale. This is fantastic. But whether it's this pressed or powder form, I don't have any problems with patchiness. I have liquid eyeshadows, and to be honest with you, I love it because the applicator and the like handle for it is a lot larger, and as somebody who has a little bit of trouble with their hands from time to time, I need help being able to firmly grasp it in my hand. And the size of these is perfect. Stab, stab, stab. For any jokes, I'm on to you. I really enjoy their liquid lipsticks as well as obviously their lip stains, but their lipsticks have a very smooth formula. They dry, they stay on pretty well with wear, a little bit more so with drinking than with eating, but I mean, unless you're willing to like Squidward Krabby Patty that thing, you'll never have a problem. They've also got lip oils that simulate like bitten lips and stuff like that. How cool is that? And they come in little caskets. Like, I can't get over that. Like, the showmanship with this brand is great, and it's backed by even better quality. This brand is also cruelty-free, and I believe they also have vegan options, so if that's something that's important to you, as I've said like 1,000 times in this video, then you don't have to worry with them. Let me know if you've checked out any of the brands that I've mentioned. What are your experiences with them? Maybe you have a little bit of like better insight about some stuff. Maybe I said something doesn't stay on so well and you think it's perfect. Let me know down below and we can discuss makeup-y things. I hope you enjoyed this first part of my little makeup brand video. I had just gotten home from work and I kind of wanted to do something a little bit different instead of just redoing my makeup and chit-chatting about D&D. Let me know what you think. Maybe you learned about new products or new brands, or if there's something that I should learn about, like a product, you should let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one, or ones where I actually do my makeup. Like, comment, do all the things. But the most important thing, stay well, stay hydrated, stay chaotic. Bye.